Let's talk a little bit about the customers and the roadblocks that you see in trying to implement a lot of these cost-saving measures. Like, what are the challenges that you experience or come across?
And you mentioned a really good point that it's not necessarily technical, right?
Right.
Yeah, no, it's never technical. It's people. It's always and if any engineers are watching, there's no hate to you. Like there was. I love engineers. Used to be one. I feel like I could diss us, but it's always the culture, and I think that is where people sometimes focus on the numerical, like I need to delete this or I need to optimize this one thing. And the biggest impact you can have is establishing this cost-aware culture. There are different kind of ways. Maybe we could dive into some of those ways of doing it. But the roadblocks that we see are people saying like, "Oh, I'm trying to get these people to optimize, and they're just not listening to me." And the problem is with FinOps teams is they are trying to do this, like they're trying to fight this battle with everybody, and they're not working with their engineering teams to do that. And it's often because engineers have a lot on their plate. They are building out this entire infrastructure. They're installing these applications. They're making it highly available. They're dealing with patches. They're dealing with security. They have a lot on. And so if you're poking them and saying, "Oh, your instance is too big," and you're doing it outside of that realm, you're doing it somewhere over here that's like not in their scope of what they think their job is, no wonder they're not going to do it. So a big part of the culture change aspect is making sure you're bringing it into what is expected of an engineer, showing them like what the priority is, giving them the tools and the education to do it, and making it part of a build. The same way you have kind of security as part of a review, as part of an assessment, a check that you would do, you should have FinOps as part of the journey of building. And that is where we get the biggest success, when people know, oh, it is my job to be cost optimized, the same way as it has to be highly available. That's where the culture starts to shift, where the responsibility transitions from FinOps to engineer.
I think I generally agree with that. There's one other aspect that I've kind of discovered talking to a lot of customers over the last couple of years, which is I almost feel like there's something, just like you have technical debt in code, where there's no engineer that you'll speak to who'll say, "Oh, I love the debt that's in my code base." Right? I feel like there needs to be a new concept of a FinOps debt, which is very analogous to the technical debt. Everyone agrees that this shouldn't be there, but it's just a question of time and priorities and the returns on the effort that you put in. And you have to weigh that all the time. Mm-hmm. And when that balance kind of tilts, that's when attention comes in. So for example, if your revenues drop and suddenly, you're not growing at an insane pace, the cost starts becoming, a factor, because you have to address margins, and then you start looking at it.